let's talk through like your personal journey. We have 4 different images and you're the 5th one sat here so we can see the end result. What am I looking at here? Like, this is your journey just by treating your fascia.
Yes.
Okay, so the first picture, so this is hard for anyone who is not watching on YouTube or on Spotify video. This is your first picture that was taken when?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. Okay, I'm going to let you describe your face here.
Okay. Yeah.
So give the listeners an understanding of you 6 years ago.
So 6 years ago, if you look at my face, my eyes are closer together. My forehead and my eyebrows are compressed. So they're actually closer. So everything is pulled inwards. You'll see my jaw at the bottom is pulled to the right. The angle of my nose is up.
Oh, yeah.
The coloration of my skin is yellow. And the emotions. If you look at the right eye and you look at the left eye, I look scared. I look like an old man that's defeated.
What was happening at this point in your life?
That's how I felt. I had followed society in the way that we were supposed to. I went to school, I had a good education, I made good money, I had a girlfriend, I lived downtown, I was a professional athlete, I had all the accolades. And then I sat with myself for a moment and I realized how stressed I was and how miserable I was. And this was working out. I was eating the way that, typical nutrition says. I was doing all of the right things that society had told me to do. And then I ended up there and I just felt defeated. I no longer wanted to follow the path that society had built for me. I was stressed. I was tired. You can clearly see I was not healthy, even though I was doing all the right things. And so that moment, I had woken up. I had said to myself, I'm going to go a different path. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm going to change. And 1 year later is the next photo.
Okay. So for people listening, your face has slightly changed here. Your nose looks straighter.
Yes. And my eyes are more aligned and more open.
Yeah. Less heavy.
Less heavy. The emotions changed a lot. Now I look like a little boy that's still a little bit scared and uncertain. But the coloration of my skin is starting to come back. When you look at somebody's skin, you can see if there's a lot of toxic buildup behind it. That's the first photo. The second one, you can start to see that that's starting to come out. And the face is almost widening. It's starting to open up. And part of the reason for that is if you compress the head, it creates a lot of tension. I had a lot of concussions. Being a professional soccer player, I had like 6 or 7 concussions and it was starting to wear down on my head. My head was starting to contract. And so here you can start to see it expand. And if we go to the third photo now, the biggest difference here is the eyes.
If your colors of eye changed?
Yes. So if you look at the first photo, my eyes are yellowish, toxic. If someone has yellow eyes, there's something going on with their organs. The second photo, my eyes start to open more. The third photo, my eyes are aligned and they're white.
Yeah.
That is when you know somebody has vitality again. Like when you can see someone's eyes, if you look somebody in the eyes, you can see the vitality that they have. And here also the angle of the nose is now shifted. So now my nose is going down, which means that my posture is changing, the alignment of the spine. Because I had that head forward text neck posture, my nose was actually looking up. And if you go to the third photo here, it starts to go down.
And then you've got the last photo here.
Yeah, and the last one, so these are all a year apart. The last one, so this is year number 1, 2, 3, and 4. It feels like in this photo, like I had confidence in the third one and my eyes had started to wake up, but now the rest of my face, from the smile lines to the jaw alignment to the alignment of my eyes, there's more space in my forehead. The skin is now back to its natural state. And you can see the emotion. If you really look at the first one and the last one is the biggest difference. You could see the emotions that I'm holding. It's almost like I've come into my purpose or myself. And that's how I felt.
So people might be finding this quite hard to get their head around.
Yes.
I'm going to say obvious things here because people might be going, well, there was other things that he did.
Sure.
He changed. He did a different gym routine. He, left the city life and found himself more calmer. So like, what talk to me about the fascia side, because this is what you're kind of putting this change down to. This is the one thing that you did. Well, not the one thing, I'm not sure. This is putting words into your mouth here. But what was it that worked with the fascia that you believe made this change? Like, how does it change your face?
Step number one was cleaning the chemicals out of my life. Because right now we live in a world that's filled with chemicals. We've got non-native EMFs, we've got bleach, chlorine, fluoride, we've got glyphosate, herbicides, pesticides. There's chemicals in our tap water. So depending where you are in the world, you're exposed to different chemicals. And if you are exposed to chemicals every single day, you're in a deficit. Like if I wake up and I'm in my bed sheets in my bed and my bed sheets have been cleaned with a detergent that's got hormonal disruptors in it, then I'm sleeping in that for 8 hours. That's absorbing into the skin and into the blood within minutes. I'm at a deficit the moment I wake up. Mm-hmm. And so step number one for me of changing my life was really starting to realize that there were a lot of chemicals in my environment that I wasn't aware of. And so I cleaned those. The step number two was I moved my body through fascial maneuvers, through the fascia. And because the fascia holds the muscles, the bones, the tendons, the ligaments, and the organs, when I move a fascial restriction, I release emotions, I release tension, and the shape of the body begins to change. You start to restore the flow. As you can see, my skin started to change color. That's because before, my skin and my body was so restricted, it was stagnant. In Chinese medicine, they used stagnant a lot. It wasn't flowing, so all the chemicals were trapped. It changed the coloration of my skin. So as I started to move my fascia, it started to move all of the chemicals and all of the stuff out of my system, restoring the flow, which helps with collagen building. It helps restructure the head, the face, the neck, the posture.
And is that a daily movement that you do? Because I know in the pre-interview that we did for our subscribers, that you talked us through like one challenge to do this week. Is that involving the rotation ones that you taught us? Is there like how many times a day do you do this for your fascia?
Yeah, so fascial maneuvers is very simple, actually. It's rotating the body while you move and breathe. And the reason why we use rotation is because when you walk, you swing your arms. They're actually rotating. When you swing a bat, you're swinging. You're rotating everything. When you're in the fetal position or you hug yourself and crawl into a ball, you rotate everything. Even when we sit at a chair, we create rotation. So rotation is the language of the body. But if we look at traditional movement practices today, they're all straight. If I do a bicep curl, it's straight. If I stretch my hamstring, it's straight. And so everything that we're doing to take care of the body is very linear. What we found is if we rotate the body, like we did in the beginning there, and we breathe, that simulates the walking position. It simulates a swinging position, a position where we generate a lot of force, and it simulates being in the womb. And that rotated position is what unwinds the restrictions in the fascia. So we have a series of over 40, 50 movements that you can do on your own daily to unwind the tension in your body. But I like to keep it to like 15 minutes. If you do 15 minutes a day in a rotated position, breathing, then it starts to unwind everything.